This analysis explores the complex relationship between the United States and Israel. We will focus on the dynamics of influence, the ongoing reality of Palestinian displacement, and the framework of international law. Our discussion begins by addressing a widely circulated quote. This quote is often attributed to former Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon. It suggests that the Jewish people control America. However, it does not negate the reality of significant Israeli influence within the United States. This influence operates through various legitimate and observable channels. Understanding these mechanisms is key to analyzing the relationship. It helps explain U.S. policy decisions regarding Israel and the Palestinians. Israeli influence in the U.S. is exerted through several distinct mechanisms. These mechanisms are well documented and operate openly within the American political system. Substantial U.S. foreign aid is a primary mechanism of this influence. This aid provides Israel with significant financial and military resources. Historically, Israel is the largest cumulative recipient of U.S. foreign aid since World War II. This long-standing financial commitment underscores the depth of the relationship. Annual military assistance alone exceeds billions of dollars. This funding supports Israel's defense capabilities and technological edge in the region. I am also amazed Israel offers free healthcare to their citizens with U.S. taxpayer money while American citizens struggle in U.S. without healthcare. Israelis are more important than Americans. Why lobbyists make such a propaganda against the free healthcare for our citizens, yet they are okay with Israelis to have free healthcare without taxes? I would like to know more about all this double standard BS while our taxes paying for their healthcare. Powerful lobbying efforts by pro-Israel organizations also play a major role. Groups like AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, are highly effective. These lobbying efforts actively shape congressional votes and policy debates. They work to ensure continued U.S. support for Israel's security and political positions. Strategic intelligence sharing is another important facet of the relationship. The U.S. and Israel cooperate closely on intelligence matters. This cooperation involves sharing information on regional threats. These threats include Iran, Syria, Hamas, and other non-state actors. It is important to acknowledge nuance in this dynamic. American public opinion on Israeli actions is not monolithic, it is increasingly divided. Younger generations, in particular, show less automatic support for Israeli government policies. Despite this division, the established mechanisms of influence remain potent. They continue to significantly impact U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. I wonder if it is shaped and beneficial only for Israel and their expansion of the land grabbing with cost of American taxpayers and lives. At the core of any analysis of this conflict is the Palestinian experience. This experience is marked by a history of displacement and loss. We must specifically address the events of 1948. Palestinians refer to this period as the Nakba, meaning catastrophe. During the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, approximately 700,000 Palestinians were displaced. They were forced from their homes and lands. This displacement involved both outright expulsion and fleeing from conflict zones. Many lost their ancestral lands and properties permanently. Tragically, this displacement did not end in 1948. It continues to this day through various means. Ongoing displacement includes evictions of Palestinian families in East Jerusalem. These evictions often occur under complex legal pretexts. It also includes demolitions of Palestinian homes and structures in the West Bank. Land seizures for settlement expansion contribute significantly to this process. These actions fragment Palestinian communities and erode their presence. They make the prospect of a contiguous Palestinian state increasingly difficult. The memory and ongoing reality of displacement are central to Palestinian identity. They fuel the demand for the right of return for refugees. The expansion of Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank is a key point of contention. It is widely regarded as a major obstacle to peace. These settlements are not merely residential areas. They represent a physical assertion of control over occupied territory. Crucially, the establishment and expansion of these settlements violate international law. This is a position held by the vast majority of the international community. These violations include the Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949. Article 49 of this convention prohibits an occupying power from transferring its own civilian population into the territory it occupies. United Nations Security Council resolutions have repeatedly affirmed this. Resolution 446 in 1979 declared that settlements have no legal validity. Resolution 2334 in 2016 reiterated this, demanding a halt to all settlement activity. It described settlements as a flagrant violation of international law. I don't understand still Israel continues for these illegal acts without any consequence. Most recently, the International Court of Justice issued an advisory opinion in July 2024. The ICJ declared the settlements illegal under international law. The court urged Israel to cease settlement activity immediately. It also called for reparations for damages caused by settlement construction. Despite these clear findings and international condemnations, Israeli settlement activity continues unabated. New construction and expansion persist. As of early 2025, approximately 700,000 Israeli settlers reside in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. This number has grown significantly over the years. In May 2025, reports indicated that 22 new settlement outposts were legalized by the Israeli government. This further entrenches the settlement enterprise. The continued expansion demonstrates a disregard for international legal obligations. It fundamentally alters the facts on the ground, making a two-state solution increasingly improbable. The international community's response to Israeli actions, particularly settlement expansion and the conflict in Gaza, has varied. There is growing, though often limited, pushback from some Western nations. In June 2025, several countries imposed sanctions on far-right Israeli ministers and entities. The UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Norway took this step. But it has been just a joke. UK, Canada, Germany, France and few other Western countries keep selling weapons to Israel to continue for their occupation and genocide. These countries just give a lip service versus concrete actions to stop genocide. World wonder if Israel owns and manages them too. These sanctions targeted individuals deemed responsible for violence against Palestinians or undermining stability in the West Bank. This marked a notable shift for some of these nations. The UK government also signaled potential political support for recognizing a Palestinian state while giving Israel's killing machine weapons and ammunition. Is this stance was explicitly linked to the findings of the recent ICJ advisory opinion or just an act? There is also potential for legal action at the International Criminal Court. The ICC prosecutor is investigating the situation in Palestine. This investigation could potentially lead to arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Such warrants would be related to alleged war crimes, including settlement expansion. While ICC prosecuted Israeli government with war crimes and genocide, nothing really happened to war criminals, killers and their supporters. While Israeli government stopping any kind of food, medicine, and humanitarian aid to come to Gaza and West Bank, they also continue to use hunger as a weapon. While IDF soldiers raping women, killing children, targeting press and international aid workers, while they are posing on TikTok and Facebook postings with horrific images of helpless people and cowardly laughing, those Western governments preaching morality but doing nothing. The young children's handcuffed images leaving the courts unheard in Western world being posted shamelessly, world is silent. If Israel is not doing anything criminal, why press is not allowed and killed? If more than 220 press members and hundreds more aid workers are killed within a year in Gaza by IDF soldiers and they were executed, what is more terrifying? They are hiding. What can be worse than a genocide? The possibility of ICC warrants has caused significant political friction. It has drawn strong condemnation from Israel and its allies, including the United States. Beyond the immediate conflict, it is important to touch upon the broader regional context. The conflict does not occur in isolation. Some analysts accuse Israel of escalating regional tensions. They suggest this serves to distract from the ongoing crisis in Gaza. The humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza since October 2023 has been immense. Over 62,000 Palestinian deaths have been reported as of mid-2025. According to NGOs, it's well over 200,000 people, not including mass graves created and hidden by IDF. Military operations conducted near Iran or against Iranian proxies are viewed by some as a diversification of crisis theaters. This potentially draws attention away from the devastation in Gaza. The regional dynamics are complex and interconnected. Actions in one area often have repercussions across the Middle East. In conclusion, our analysis has explored several key points regarding US-Israel ties, Palestinian displacement, and international law. We have aimed to distinguish between misinformation and deeper, verifiable truths. One key truth is the massive scale of US aid and political influence supporting Israel. This relationship is deep and multifaceted. Another undeniable truth is the ongoing dispossession of Palestinians. This process began in 1948 with the Nakba and continues today through various means. A third crucial truth is that Israeli settlements in the occupied territories are illegal under international law. This has been affirmed by numerous international bodies, including the ICJ. Finally, we see a growing, albeit limited and often hesitant, Western pushback against certain Israeli policies. Why hesitance for the truth? Does Israel own all Western powers? This indicates shifting international dynamics. Understanding these complex realities is vital for informed engagement. It requires looking beyond simplistic narratives and confronting difficult facts. We encourage you to engage with this information. We love you to seek the truth, justice and honest objective information for peaceful world. Please like, share, and comment on this analysis to broaden the discussion. Subscribe for further in-depth content. It is imperative to demand the enforcement of international law. International legal frameworks exist to protect populations under occupation. We must demand protection for Palestinian rights. This includes the right to self-determination and freedom from displacement and occupation. We must demand dismantling all illegal settlements by Israel. Ultimately, we must demand a just and lasting peace. This requires an end to violence and the dismantling of systems of occupation and colonialism. Please join us for more engaging topics. Peace on Earth.